So the girls sit here front and center. They're my co-captains.
This whole space actually used to be a king-size bed, which is this mattress that we cut down into the girls' mattress.
We wanted to like park on the edge of a cliff and then just open the deck and then just be overhanging whatever it is.
This is our bench slash kitchen table and also our awesome bathtub. Hey, I'm Tal.
And I'm Ori.
Come check out our home. So this is probably the area that I hang out in the most because it is the kitchen and we make all our meals here. So I'll start with our fridge. This is just our awesome trusty fridge. We probably get the most compliments about this thing, which is kind of funny. Just a Home Depot retro style fridge. We really wanted a big sink. As you can see, this is a massive sink. And the reason for that is because we prefer to shower the girls in there. When we moved into the bus, they were only a year and a bit old. So they both fit in it. They still fit in it. And it's a great way for us to shower. We don't have to bend down and it's pretty nice. This kitchen's also kind of like a stock Home Depot that we painted and put some really nice wallpaper on it. We never insulated the bus. And what's nice about that is that everything is magnetic. So you can see here that everything we have on here can move, which is a really nice thing, especially if sometimes things, feel like I need to cook here. So I prefer to move certain items to the other side. We do have a filter system called Clear Source. So all our water is filtered. But before that, we also got a Berkey, pretty standard, I would say, in the van and bus world. Besides that, here, Ori built these cabinets. We actually used old cabinets because we didn't want to buy new wood and refurbished it, kind of repurposed it. And this is where we store kind of all our dry foods, pots and pans, spices, all the good stuff. In terms of what we have for cooking in the kitchen, mostly what we use is this Instant Pot. We have a Vitamix and then like a Nutter, which is, to make nut milk. And then we have an induction stove that we keep under here, actually. It's a little messy in here. And we put it on the counter whenever needed. But because when we drive, we usually put it away. So unless we're using it, we kind of like to keep the space tidy. Other than that, we have an awesome full-size washing machine. For anyone who has kids, you guys probably know that it's super necessary to have something like this. It's not a washer dryer, just a washer. And it fits almost all our clothes, and then we just usually hang it outside because we try to stay in around 70-degree weather. So usually it's possible to hang dry the clothes. Something that really changed the game for most van lifers or nomadic living is Starlink, and we store it right here. We actually have a mount on the roof, so when we're not driving, when we're parked somewhere, we take it out of our roof hatch. But once we drive, we stow it and put it up here. We actually kind of Velcroed this down so it doesn't go flying after it flew on us a couple of times. Another thing is this kind of hanging shelf that we built. We really wanted the space to be as open as possible, especially because Ori is really tall. It was really important to not do upper cabinets, and that's why we opted for this kind of like hanging shelf. This string is actually kite surfing strings. Ori is a kite surfer, and this is from his old kite, so it's super, super strong. That's kind of what holds this awesome shelf together. So this is our living room and me and Ori's sleeping location. As I mentioned before, our rig is only 30 feet and we have 2 kids, and Ori works full time. So it was really important for us when we built this out to have a very modular build. Since the beds usually take up the most space in a bus or in any rig, and they're only used at night, it didn't make sense to us to have so much space taken up. And that's why we kind of made these beds that fold away. So this is our couch that we love to hang out on when we're not sleeping. And when we want to go to sleep, we just open this, put this mattress down, and then we have a full-size bed for the 2 of us. This is our bench slash kitchen table that we sit in and eat as a family, and also our awesome bathtub that Ori and I shower in mostly. This goes here, so we kind of place this up, and we have our curtain that we put here. We have our shower that we hang here. We have this little thing, and then we just shower right in here. We didn't do a plumbing system for this, so we have a pump that we just plumb it into our kitchen sink. And the reason why we didn't want to make a hole on the bottom and kind of make it be a permanent thing is because we built this deck. When we want to go sit outside on the deck, what we do is just take this bathtub and move it right outside. And then we have this awesome open space that we can just step out onto our deck if we want. If we really want to get fancy, we have this awesome hammock that when we're sitting in the living room, we can just sit, one of us on the couch and one of us in the hammock. So this is usually when we're boondocked, we kind of leave the bathtub on the deck. We usually actually shower outside because it's way more fun to shower in the open air. And then we get to have this in the house and just a lot of extra space. Other than that, these are also, we used wood that we found on the street kind of and built these drawers. This is where all our bed sheets go. And then at night we just put the pillows under there and bring out our bed sheets. We have the original hatch of the bus. So if we want a little bit of fresh air, we can open it all the way. This is where we take out the Starlink from. We also built another hanging shelf here. We wanted to put our coats up on it and then just another organization drawer type of thing. And this is kind of where we keep all the stuff that we use day to day. So like sunscreen, our speaker, hats, sunglasses, all that stuff goes up here just to make easier access. And underneath this chair, we actually have the girls and all of our shoes there as well. Prior to nomadic life, we were living in Israel, which is where we're from. I had my own nut butter business that I sold, and Ori was a programmer at a high-tech company.
What kicked off moving into like nomadic life was actually these little girls getting born. Honestly, if they were one instead of twins, then we probably would have just continued with our life. But as soon as we realized it was twins, it was like, we can't both continue working and raise these girls. So we might as well go out on an adventure. And that's basically what kicked it off. And we started in a van, but now we're in a bus because the girls, at first they couldn't walk and they were pretty static, and now they can run around and do everything. So it was just super tight in the van, and we upgraded to a 30-foot bus.
We also both had a dream of doing van life, and it just never worked itself out because we were always in the grind of like working. And then COVID happened and things became a lot more remote. When the girls were born, it was kind of like we saw it as an opportunity to let go of everything and start on a new journey for a little bit. Okay, so this is our storage area, or most of our storage area. We keep all our clothes, so each of us has kind of a drawer. Like we have the girls' drawer. We have kind of like a throwaway bin, you know, whatever needs to just kind of be tucked away. Our toiletries drawer. And then on the other side, we have clothes again. And the one thing that we love and the girls can't reach is kind of our snack cabinet. And these drawers go all the way out. So they're like really, really deep. Here, let me open this one. It's super deep. And they're really, really tall. So we can store a lot of stuff in there. And this is our closet where we keep our batteries, or you can talk about that later. We have our hanging closet. And then this is kind of those clothes that are like not dirty enough to go in the laundry, but not clean enough to be in the closet. I'm sure all of you guys can relate to that. And then up here, we kind of have like a few diapers and a few more like toiletries, hygienic stuff. And then we have our climbing harnesses and a little bit of our outdoor gear right there. This is the girls' room. We'll talk about that in a second. But when we want some privacy, or if they're sleeping and we want to have the lights on, we put this curtain up and then we can have our own privacy. We tried to figure out a way to keep these drawers closed when we're driving because, as everyone knows, everything kind of opens when you're on the road. And most people put latches or, you know, like different magnetic systems and stuff like that. We opted for a more simple solution that Ori kind of came up with. And it's these little latches that just kind of turn very easily and they just keep everything closed. They kind of do make a mark, but that's okay. Yeah, that's kind of the only thing that keeps the drawers closed, and it works, so it's nice. One feature that came with the bus, this is a Colorado bus, so it came with a Webasto heater. This got squished a little bit, but so we have a heating system. We put a little outlet right there, and as you can see, what I'm sitting on is actually not a real floor, it's a subfloor. Our friends Crooks and Beta, who are awesome builders, helped us actually build this whole room and kind of come up with the idea. When we were making this room, we really wanted to have a bedroom for the girls, but we needed a space for our water tank. So we have 110 gallons of water. We needed a place to put that water, and the only place to do it is in the girls' room. So So we were trying to figure out how can we do that and still have as much open space for the girls. So what we did is built this subfloor. Under here is actually a 40-gallon water tank from RecPro. So it's like a flat water tank. Over here, I'll show you in a second, is another 70-gallon water tank. And then this is actually 2 very large storage bins. So each one is about this long. And as you can see, it's this deep. It just makes the room really open. It just makes the room really open. And then the girls have a real playroom to hang out in, especially if it's really hot out or if it's raining or something. They have a space that they can really call their own. So as you can see, the girls love this room. We both do some circus arts, and it was really important for us to have the girls do it too. So we actually built them this trapeze using just a dowel and some of that same kite surfing string that we talked about earlier. So it's super strong. If they don't want to hang, we also hang a swing right there for them. So sometimes they like to swing, and this is a perfect place for it. So the girls' room is my favorite place to hang out with the girls. We have this carpet that makes it really homey. This is actually their bed that, again, similar to our bed, opens up. I'm not going to open it all the way, but it opens up to here. And then we put the other mattress down, and they have kind of like their own queen bedroom. We did kind of a fast and dirty build when we first built this bus because we needed to move into it as fast as possible. So this whole space actually used to be a king size bed, which is this mattress that we cut down into the girls' mattress. And then we have another bit of the mattress here and another bit of the mattress here. So if someone big like one of us wants to sleep with the girls, we can actually put the mattress, and then it's a full-size bed. A little bit more about the girls' room. So like I mentioned, we really wanted to do some storage. So what Sean and Jess also helped us kind of figure out was making storage cabinets on top of the water tank. So over here, up to here is the 70-gallon water tank. And then we have little bins for the girls' toys. And then this is their own closet. And then we have another little bin of, like, you know, some other toys and whatever. And then our little toy section. So this is me and Ori's toys. We do some flow arts. So I have my dragon staff and my hula hoops. And then Ori has his foil surfboard, which he wings and kite surfs, like I mentioned. So this is where we keep that. We try to be in 70-degree weather, but it doesn't always work. And when that doesn't work, we have our trusty mini split that Ori installed. And this keeps the whole space really cool and nice. We have all the girls' books. So we're from Israel, so we speak Hebrew to the girls mostly. So as you can see, we have some Hebrew books and English books. And the last thing that I want to discuss is kind of our toilet. We have a composting toilet by Trillino. It's really nice because you could just pick it up and take it outside, which is what we do a lot of times when we're boondocked somewhere and kind of want privacy. I'm not gonna lie, we don't use it that often. We usually use it for number one, but it does not smell in the space, and it's closed, so no one touches it when it's not in use. And because the girls are potty trained and stuff, this is a really easy way to kind of use the toilet. We didn't want to take more space in the bus and make a full wet room. So this was our solution for that, and we love it, honestly. So it's great.
So we originally purchased the bus for $10,000 from a Colorado bus dealer. And then beyond that, we're in it for about 50 grand. And then the vast majority of that is just raw materials, which is electrical and building materials and all stuff like that. And in addition, we got a bit of help from 2 van builders, Inch Vans, who helped us build this deck that we're sitting on, and then Crux and Beta, who helped us build the rear area for the girls. And then for the first year and a half, we were basically just blowing through the savings that we had saved up from our full-time job in Israel, both of us. And then just over 5 months ago, I went back to working. It's a full-time remote job. I'm a programmer for a Canadian company, and Starlink enables me to do that from anywhere. And that's basically how we get by on a day-to-day. So this is my cockpit. This is generally how I drive, one girl on each leg, and if one of them is on one leg, then the other one wants space on the other leg. So no, just kidding. But yeah, so this is the cockpit. This bus has actually, I searched for a specific drivetrain. So this has the 5.9 Cummins engine with an Allison 2000 transmission. And then it's a full air ride. So it's air ride suspension, front and rear, and air seat, obviously, which makes it ride like super smooth. As far as reliability and stuff, this is a 2003 bus, which is great because it's the last year pre-emissions. But I did want to make sure that I have a good eye on like diagnostics with this bus. So I added a scan gauge, which gives me real-time readouts of like radiator fluid temperature, boost gauge, like a whole bunch of like diagnostics. And then obviously I added a backup camera because you can't see anything out the rear. So that's just a little screen here. Generally cruising speed is around 55 miles per hour. The bus is limited at 75 miles per hour at 2,500 RPMs. And it can get up there pretty quickly, but I obviously never drive that fast because this is like a brick. It does like 8 to 10 miles per gallon, which is pretty bad, but not that bad considering it's our whole house. So I purposely looked for a mid-size. This is a 30-foot bus because we didn't want to drag a vehicle behind our bus, which means that anything we have to do, we're doing it in our bus. When we go to do shopping or when we go into a city or anything like that, when we go to a museum, when we take the kids to like a kids activity or whatever, we're doing it in the bus. So I drive this everywhere. But because it's a flat nose, it has like a super short wheelbase. The wheelbase on this bus is 160 inches, which is honestly the exact same size as like the ProMasters, like all the vans. So it has a super long front overhang and an even longer rear overhang. So it's definitely longer. So far there has never been a situation where we like wished we could go somewhere or we tried to go somewhere and we couldn't get there because our bus was too long. It's definitely taller and wider than a regular vehicle. But that width actually is what gives it this nice, like spacious feeling inside. And then the other cool thing about this bus is this little bench. It had 3 of these specific benches, which have built into it a little like child seat with 5-point harnesses. So the girls sit here front and center. They're my co-captains and they love sitting here in the front, and they got the windshield is obviously like super big and open. So they just got a straight view of wherever it is we're driving. And then whenever we get somewhere, we can just fold this up, and then we got a bench. Yeah, so this is one of the original bus benches. It's super safe. This was a Colorado bus. And it has a bunch of just like good like mountain features. It has like a Webasto diesel heater in the front as well, which heats the radiator coolant. It has shutters on front of the radiator, so if you're driving like super cold weather, the engine can get up to temperature faster. Just like a whole bunch of like optional components that make this bus better than just a regular bus. Yeah, so overall this bus has been very practical for us as a single vehicle. This is probably the most unique element on our bus. What you see is a 7.5 foot wide by 6 foot deep deck, which we made with the help of some friends who are aluminum welders. A lot of people just take out the wheelchair lift because it takes up a bit of space on the inside. But I loved the idea of being able to like boondock, flip open the wheelchair lift, and then kind of like it adds a little porch or veranda. So that kind of sparked the idea to make a bigger external deck. And we just like threw the idea out about building this thing, and we just did it. Like they made it happen and we made it happen, and the result is what you see in front. This deck it's made of aluminum, but it's very easy to open and close. And that was one of the most important things to me because I knew if it was difficult to open and close, we just wouldn't open and close it. It has no legs or supports, obviously. That was also super important to me because we wanted to like park on the edge of a cliff and then just open the deck and then just be overhanging whatever it is. And even if it's not a cliff, the probability that we have like flat stable ground underneath it is very low. And it's supported by these 2 on each side. It's steel cable. This is good for like 9,000 pounds each strand. So it's super strong, very light, very easy to deploy. It's not metal, so it doesn't rust or anything like that. Above the deck, I have an Overland Vehicle Systems awning. It's a 180-degree awning, so it flips open and then it covers basically from the very front of the bus till about the back 2/3. So it totally covers the deck, and that just came out perfect. Other than that, there are several other kind of like unique or original external features on this bus. One of them is this external water spigot. It looks like it's not a big deal, but having an external spigot is super useful, whether it's like after you fill up gas. Obviously like the gas pump is like super dirty, so just rinsing your hands off before you go inside. But also just with girls when you want to wash their feet. And this deck just has like a metal grating on the top, so if it gets dirty, you just rinse it off and you're good to go. And also this water spigot is like, it's teed off from my shower. It puts out hot water or cold water, whatever you want. For us, it's like one of our most used features of the bus. Other than that, I put a bunch of like external storage. So underneath this deck, we have a 4 foot by 2 foot by 1.5 foot aluminum external storage box. I have another one on the other side, the exact same size. So on the other side, that's where I keep my tools and stuff. On this side, we keep camping chairs or whatever, things like that. Other than that, I put just an external electrical outlet if we ever need to like power things while outside. We've had our friends like plug their buses into here or their vans because we have a massive electrical system. And that's what you see on the roof actually. SunPower solar panels, it's 6 400-watt panels, so a total of 2,400 watts. And that feeds electricity to a full Victron system. We got 10 kilowatt hours of lithium battery, 3,000-watt multi-plus. Anyways, like whatever, I won't go into the technical details, but it's a full Victron electrical system. They're long and wide solar panels, and they sit across the whole roof, and then they sit obviously like an inch or two above the middle of the roof. It basically puts the whole roof of the bus in the shade, which gives an additional effect of insulation. Before I put in the solar panels, you could touch the ceiling of the bus on the inside and the metal would be hot. And then once the solar panels were up, it's pretty cool. We always park in the sun, obviously, because we want to get solar. I can cool down the bus better by parking in the sun and running the mini split than parking in the shade. Other than that, obviously, I work remote, so I have a Starlink mounted to the top. We also put little climbing holds for the girls. We love climbing, me and Tal, but we did think it would be cool to put climbing holds on the side. The girls like to kind of climb in them. So that's also a toy for like the girls to climb on, and I also actually use that to get up onto the roof if I ever need to. Under the back of the bus is the gray water tanks. We got 2 gray water tanks, electrical water heater, which is sitting under the kitchen sink. It's 4-gallon electrical Bosch. I also did put Wi-Fi smart plugs in several places on the bus so I can like schedule things to come on and off at convenient times of the day. So like I can have the Starlink go off at night, I can have the water heater go on at specific times. So we always have hot water. And then over there we also have like just like this deck flips down. We got just a flip down table, which is also convenient just to put like food when we're eating outside on or stuff like that. And I think that's all. Thanks for coming on this tour of our lifestyle with us.
If you want to follow along, you can follow us on Twins on Wheels on Instagram and TikTok. It's linked below. Thank you. Bye. Can you wave? Bye.
Bye.